I was asked, why are so many relationships failing nowadays? Well, the point is, it's not necessarily about them failing nowadays. Times are a bit more complex nowadays because there are way more distractions, which disallow people from learning certain things. Back in the times where there were other distractions, but not as many and as easily achievable as with technology nowadays, back in those times, people had to do things like literally manually. You wanted to talk to someone, there were no phones, you actually had to go see them. Sometimes, people would even play serenades to impress the girl, or, they would spend a lot of time to learn more or less things about themselves. Yes, and they would go through things together. Nowadays, it's easy to find people all across the world, and even if technology allows you to simply communicate with those people, it's very rarely the same thing because it's a completely different set of processes that go on when you are specifically with that person up close at a restaurant or strolling outside. Nowadays, it's easy to find people all across the world and talk with them, maybe even have relationships. Yes, there are very well known cases of streamers or people who met others online in communities of other streamers or YouTubers or whatever, and they even got married in the end, and well, they had children and a very great family. Yes, the internet can help a lot, but the problem is it also, if not used correctly, it acts as a very good distraction. If one does not understand how their mind functions, they will simply lose most of the things in life sooner or later. Not necessarily that you will physically lose them, but imagine having something or everything that you want, but you just feel dead inside. At least you have everything that you wanted, but the problem is you can't enjoy those. Yes? If you want, well, always treat your mind similar to how Sun Tzu would present his art of war. If you know neither yourself nor the enemy, you will succumb after every single battle. If you don't know how your mind functions, obviously you will fall for each and every one of your impulses. And the point is, most of those impulses are obviously not your own. Surely you create some compulsions based on your own needs, but don't forget that you're also an amalgam of your ancestors' desires, craves, needs. Many people are not that profoundly influenced by such karmic structures of their ancestors, but it still exists. When in times of certain needs, in times of certain feeling bad that you may have, right? We all have sensations of lack, sensations of different things. Sometimes those are not even yours. But when you feel, when you go through these dense states, obviously you're going to pull out a lot of things because the information of your ancestors exists within your system. It only needs something that allows it to bubble to the surface. And that's when a lot of people actually start feeling those because they bubble up. They suddenly feel overwhelmed. Yes? People do not know much about themselves and then they seek other people. See, if you are a ruin, you're only gonna find another ruin. And if you find someone who's not a ruin, you're gonna tend to ruin them. So they will usually move away sooner or later. Yes? The point is, two halves of a people do not make two full people. If you want to seek a relationship, learn about yourself. Yes? Learn how to spend time alone. Do some social media detox. Because the problem is, a lot of people get overstimulated mentally and emotionally with all sorts of things. You might think that swapping to the next video will have you forget what the first one was. Yes, you will consciously forget about that, but it will unconsciously live within you. You have seen it, you have recorded it within your system. Even if you don't remember it, the residue of that is within you. And every emotion that you have attached, you have thought of right there. It is right there. So, a lot of people, when you meet them, they are simply incapable of talking or doing anything because they are so swarmed with such information in their mind. They're exactly like a computer whose cache memory is full. It barely works, yes, it barely functions. It takes ages for the mouse cursor to register, yes. It takes ages for it to open something. Once you restart it or turn it off, you turn it on after like 30 seconds, 1 minute, you see everything is perfectly fine. Yes, the memory was simply flushed. It can also happen with your internet router. If you never turn it off, you will probably notice that in time it gets clogged. It's not working. It feels like the internet is bad. Just, unplug it, turn it off for like 30 seconds, then you put it on back, and guess what? Suddenly everything feels good. The same thing people have to understand about their mind. Your mind is no different from that. Yes, you have a cache memory within you that stores certain things. And then while you sleep, and of course this is very important, while you sleep, your body is even more active than it is during the day. Yes, during the time when you are active. And it has to purge through literally most of the things, if not everything, but it's not going to be everything. But it has to purge through all of the things, or as many of the things that you have accumulated throughout the day. Unfortunately, in many cases, it does not. When people doom scroll before they fall asleep, usually they tend to sleep way more. And then in the end, when they wake up, they still feel dead. But they shrug it off and say, well, I have slept a lot, so it is good. No, it is not good. Oversleeping is not good. It is a signal that things are not good. It is a signal that your body takes extra time. It means in time you're losing, actually, time. You're having less and less available spare time in your day. Because you have to understand, you'll reach a moment in your life when you will live the same lie as your parents. Whether you want to accept it or not, this is the society that your ancestors have, well, prepared for you. And this is unfortunately a reality. And you have to understand whether you like it or not. Well, nobody wants the old style, the old world, the sunken world. But unfortunately, well, you have to do a lot of things to make sure you transcend it. Because still, people are not able to transcend that. You're going to live that sick society where you just work and you barely have any time left for you and for anything that you may actually want to do with your life. And then people end up lying themselves and minimizing themselves, postponing their dreams, and they get even more tired and they want to distract themselves. And when you distract yourself, you feel bad about it, yes? And all of these things create all of these arcs, yes, where you want to do something, but you simply know it will fail because you get less and less trust in you. Why? Because, yet again, distractions have multiple side effects upon you. Every time you postpone something, you make yourself convinced of the fact that you are, one, not worthy of that thing, and two, not disciplined enough to have it. Each of these two will create a certain repulsion towards yourself. How do you bypass it in the quickest way? Well, even more distractions. When you doom scroll before you go to sleep, the problem is the screens have blue lights, which fool your brain that it is still daytime. So even if you fall asleep quickly, your brain will take a very long time to figure out that, hey, it's no longer daytime. Yes? So your brain will be, you will be asleep, but your brain will not do much of its regeneration. Yes? In some people's cases, they might actually sleep for 5 hours. Their brain is still stuck in the idea that it is daytime because of doom scrolling. Yes? It is still waiting new information to process. It is still there in that state, yes? And the purging that needs to go in the system of unwanted information, of killer cells, of all sorts of things that should have been treated while you were asleep, happen at a much smaller pace, yes? And that's how some people develop cancer in time, because sleep is a powerful way in which cancer cells are dealt with, yes? It is the best time that your body deals with that. So all of these things clog your mind. Then it's, hard to simply do anything. Yes? You see a lot of people lying that they are shy. No, they are not shy. They are not feeling worthy. Yes? Because of some of the reasons that I mentioned before. They are not feeling ready. They are not feeling disciplined enough. And that's technically what they are saying. You have to understand, many people will talk things. They will tell you words, but those words do not simply show exactly what they feel. Yes? They do not show you how they feel. They only show you something, their lack. You have to understand, every time people tell you something, there is something deeper than that. When the girl tells you that she wants to be romantic, she doesn't want romanticism necessarily. She doesn't feel safe enough. She doesn't feel good in her skin. In a relationship, the only thing that you have to handle is making the other person feel good in their own skin, especially the girl. If you manage that, everything else slowly and surely will come out at its own pace. Because a lot of people don't feel safe nowadays. We live in a world where your parents usually don't give you the attention that you need. They don't give you the safety that you need. You might live in a mansion, you might live in a house away from any people that might harm you, but still you do not feel safe enough. Yes, and you will seek that safety in other people. Especially women seek safety in a man. Yes, when they want to be personal and the such. It's just like an animal that wants to come to you, and they cuddle therefore against you because they're interested in your smell. That's how they create a certain connection. The girl will be similar. She's not necessarily interested in sex at the first time. She's interested in feeling safe. She's interested in feeling your touch, your hugs, your warmth. Yes, even probably the smell. Because you have to understand, your sweat is a pheromone. And all of these subtleties are things that people in time forget because they live in this sick society that teaches corn and that low quality is what prevails. Yes, and people end up with all sorts of these distorted perceptions that women are nothing else but some, dancing hoes, and that men are nothing else but slaves that crave the dancing hoes. And when you end up in a society where you are somewhat more sensitive and you're surrounded by such people living in these perverse, or well, let's call it perverted reality, it is hard to simply find people who think and act like you. Because first and foremost, one must feel good alongside someone. That is why a lot of people end up in a relationship, but they are technically two strangers. Yes, because they don't know shit about themselves. They don't invest anything trying to learn about themselves. Because everyone else will not be much of a difference. Everyone around you, everyone in the world will have some of your lacks. Everyone has almost the same lacks in the end. Because parents will do whatever they can. But you have to understand, they have lived the lies of, give all your energy to society and you will be given something back. But guess what? Society doesn't give anything back. It's just a narcissistic system of abuse where you just give your all and you get nothing. And people simply, many of them, simply just get complacent. That's why you see them ending up in toxic relationships. Some of the relationships go apparently very well because both of them are equally toxic. They just do the seesaw effect. Yes, one is toxic, the other one gives a bit, then the other one is toxic, the other one receives, and so on and so forth. There's nothing human within it, but to a certain level of awareness, it is the only thing that they can feel. Always increase your level of awareness, the capacity to read people, to understand their emotions. Not everyone that smiles is good. Yes, lust is a big problem in this sick society, both for women and for men. It is a world where, well, we are bombarded by such information. We are bombarded by such crippling information. Why? Because it is everywhere. You don't have to watch corn to feel corny. Yes? It is everywhere. Temptations are everywhere, and they're also bolstered by the frequencies that surround you. They're not putting 5G everywhere just so that you have higher internet. No, they're putting 5G and 6G everywhere so that they can easily bombard you with information that will keep you low, with information that will get your mind clogged, with information that will get you tired, right? Haven't you noticed? You're working the same as you've been working 10 years ago, yes? You're feeling equally healthy physically, but you're feeling 10 times more tired. Time feels like flying 10 times faster. Why? Because you're bombarded with subliminal messaging, yes? Everything is telling you that you must rush. When you are in a rush, when you are in a survival, time feels like flying faster, yes? Because you're in that state where you have to take decisions, yes? It feels like you can do the whole world. And in many people's cases, yes, they are doing a lot of things, but you're doing them at 5 times the speed, but at 20 times the resource consumption. And that's why you feel tired after the first 1 or 2 hours. Yes, this is especially true for ADHD people. Or, well, I don't believe in the existence of ADHD, but, well, they are a certain kind of sensitive people that, well, they are easy to manipulate with overclocked minds. Yes, it's easy because they are open. Yes, they are mental beings. They love analyzing things. There are such people. Now, fake sciences will call them in any way, shape, or form because you need to be labeled somehow so that you are given what society considers the proper meds to control you. Yes, there is no such thing as medication for ADHD people to, um, you know, help them. It is just something to control their mental flow because they are like hyper advanced computers. They can handle large amounts of data, but that is their strength. Society needs to come in and label them as a problem. Yes, that everything is bad about you. You can't focus. Of course, you cannot focus. The whole world is specifically designed to distract you, and that is the biggest flaw of the mind. The mind only creates based on what it has. You can use huge amounts of data, but the problem is, well, the subliminal messages that you get from antennae and the such in the world is the internal noise that you cannot handle. That is why many people feel a need to be alone. It's not like they hate humans. They can't stand this society because they cannot understand why they want to feel alone. This society is bombarding you with subliminal messages, with ideas of lack, with ideas that you're not good enough. It constantly seeks to amplify that. It is an occult assault on your minds, on your heart, on your emotions, or on everything. And the only way this sick society rules you is when you give up. Yes? When you give up searching, when you give up looking for your intuitive answers. Yes? And when you fail in these points, when your intuition is not strong enough, when your emotional side is not mature enough, when your mind is childish, obviously you're gonna fail each and every one of your battles, each and every one of your relationships. Technically, it is a battle. But the battle within a relationship has to be fought with the other person, not against them. Many people ending up in relationships, they're just two dumb children that, have expectations and they want the other one to fix their necessities. It's never gonna be like that. If you don't know yourself, you're not gonna know your enemies. If you don't know your enemies, well, obviously you will fail each and every battle. You will end up a slave of your own compulsions, of your own demons, and the such. Your demons are not here to kill you. Your demons are not here to do anything bad. Your demons are here to teach you lessons. Yes? To not take religion for something literal. Yes? Your demons are teachers. Your angels are also teachers. Everything happens just so that you learn. Every toxic person that you encounter, they are nothing else but an elevator in your life. They are nothing else but a lesson. Imagine school. When you were in school, you never learned a lesson from the first time. Maybe you learned much of it, but not it entirely. And then you had to rehearse it until you realized the importance of it, the interconnection between that lesson and something else, which is what school kind of doesn't teach you. Yes, it gives you values in strict sciences, but it doesn't necessarily teach you the correlation in between those values, in between those formulas. And you have to figure out that by yourself. And if you are not capable, because everyone is built in their own way, obviously there will be the judgment, which will make you feel bad. Because, judging a fish by its capability to climb a tree is an easy way to control the fish, because you make it feel bad about its potential. The fish is a good swimmer. Just like that, you have a certain structure. Yes, that structure of yours was designed in a way. You have to learn to function by its own geometry. And, well, you have to find a job or something where you can shine. Because in a job, you'll end up doing something that you don't necessarily like. A job is needed to get some of the money that you will need to start doing something that you actually like. Because when you do something that you like, you can work on your own terms. Yes, a sick society doesn't want you to work on your own terms, but it provides you the possibility for that. Yes? So hopefully this raised a bit of awareness. You are appreciated, take care, enjoy life. And this being said, Ferenjan Board signing out.